All right, so I'm going to show you a video on the cast on because I messed that up last week. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to show you step by step for the scarf that we're going to be starting, or that we will be starting in class. And this way you'll have a video reference. All right, so the tail. This is the tail, the end of the yarn, right? I'm going to cast on 5 stitches. How do I know how much yarn I need? Obviously 5 stitches is easy, but if you were casting on something that had 105 stitches, how much yarn do you know to do? So this is an easy way to do it. You know you're going to need a little bit of a tail to weave in, so I'm going to cast on 5 stitches. Here's the tail. I'm going to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I always do an extra one just to make sure. So this is where you know that your slip knot will be. Slip knot. You're going to make an X, make a knot, and you're just going to pull. It can be either side of the yarn, actually, the tail or the working yarn, so you have a loop. Let's do that again. Loop. You just pull it through. Do that. And you can do that. And then you slip your needle on. Okay. You want to make sure that the working yarn is in the front, okay? So, you're going to grab your yarn like this. 3. Your last 3 fingers. You're going to put your index finger through one and your thumb. So now you have this like diamond shape. You're holding both strands this way, okay? The strand that goes around your thumb should be the tail end. The strand, I did it wrong. The strand that goes around your thumb should be the tail, okay? So I've got the tail part going around my thumb. So I've got my 3 fingers, index finger, and my thumb is going through, okay? Touch your thumb, grab the yarn. Bring it around, and then grab it from the back. Tail's in the front, you can see. Put my finger through, put my thumb through. Grab from the front. Don't let go. And then take this yarn and pull it through that loop. We'll definitely practice this. So I'm back to here, right? Grab it like this, and then grab it in the back. So I'm gonna have a bigger piece of working yarn because once, like so you can see my tail is in the front, and I usually I don't start out like this, but you know, so I've always got both strands, the tail in the front, the working yarn, and grab it, grab from this next part and pull it, so you just pull it straight in that space. I go much slower. My index finger is always between. My thumb comes in and does this. From the thumb, up, and back. When you're doing let's do it again slow. So I've hold my yarn. My tail is around here. Touch, thumb, grab the yarn. So now you've got this yarn around your finger. You're just gonna go underneath it, pull it up, and then pull. Okay, we'll practice that. Now this scarf piece, we're going to be doing a scarf because let's do a scarf. This is just a knit stitch with one extra fancy thing, and it's not actually even really fancy. It's called a slip stitch. So I don't know, it might be hard to see, but it goes in and out, in and out. So it's got a kind of a ribbed, which is nice because then it's when you're doing a rib like that, it's a little bit tighter. And this is an easy rib to do. So I've cast on in multiples of 4. So it could be 16 stitches. That isn't going to be a really wide scarf. It could be 16 stitches or 40 stitches or 44, 48. You get it. It's multiples of 4 plus 1. So, for example, I think I have 29. So I have 28 stitches plus 1. So multiples of 4 plus 1. So the first thing you're going to do, and I'm going to give you this video, so if you take this home, and you can practice it if you need to. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to slip purlwise. Now we practiced the knit stitch last week. You remember the knit stitch? You go from the front, go to the back, and bring it around, right? Well, purl stitching, sorry, I just dropped the needle. Purl stitching is when you bring it into the front. So that means instead of going from the front of the stitch to the back of the stitch, you're going to go to the front. That's a purl stitch. We're not even going to do a purl stitch. We are just going to slip purl. We're just going to slip it purlwise, meaning, so you're going to have my stitches. I'm going to go into the front, and I'm literally just going to pull it off. That is a slip stitch. Now it's super loose because it's the first stitch. So I'm going to tighten it up. That's that. Then you're going to go 2 stitches. Remember, the yarn should be around the back here for this. 2 knit stitches. So purl, you're going to slip that first stitch. Then you're going to knit, go in the back, front to the back, go around, and then you're going to pull, bring the needle to the front between the stitch and the next one and pull it off. 1 stitch. Go into the back, around the needle. I like to make sure that it is completely around the needle. It makes like there's like a little click that it makes. And then when you're pulling it back up, when you're bringing it from the back to the front, make sure that it's grabbed the stitch around, up and over. So 2 stitches. Then you're going to bring the yarn to the front. You can see I'm kind of holding them so they're not falling off. You want to make sure. So you're going to just take your yarn from the back and just put it in the front here. That's it. Not going to do anything else. And then you're going to slip again. Take it off. Put it through the front this time, not the back. I'm going to slide my stitches over and just slide it off. That's it. And then bring the working yarn to the back again. And then you're going to knit 1 more stitch. Back. Bring it around. Push that back needle. So it's now between the 2 stitches and slip it off. So what you're going to have is that first slip stitch. That's your odd number 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's your multiples of 4. 2 stitches. Slip from the front. And then 1 knit stitch. 2 knit stitches. Slip from the front. 1 knit stitch. I'm going to do this row kind of slow. So 2 knit stitches. Can you, going in there in that loop. 1. Bringing the needle up between that stitch there. 1 stitch. 1 knit stitch. 2nd knit stitch. 2 knit stitches, and then we're going to slip from the front. So bring the working yarn to the front. And then go in from the front, not back. Go in from the front, and then just take that stitch off. You're not even knitting that stitch. You're doing nothing. You're just slipping it off. And then bring the working yarn back again. Hey. And then another stitch. What's up, Maddie? And then 1 more stitch. Go to the front, now we're back to 2 stitches. 1, 2 knit stitches, working yarn to the front, slip, and slip it right off, not knitting that or stitching or anything, and then bring your working yarn to the back, and then an extra stitch, and then back to the pattern. 2, yarn to the front, slip it off, not do anything with it except take it off, and then 1 more stitch. Start over. Knit, knit, yarn to the front, slip it off, and 1 more stitch. Then knit, knit, yikes, yarn to the front, bring yarn back, and now you're at the end. Woohoo! So you're going to turn your thing. Always remember, this is what most people, so when they turn their yarn, the yarn is probably going to naturally kind of fall to the back. It has to be in the front. This loop on every piece needs to go to the bottom. And then you're going to do the exact same thing again. From the front, you're going to purlwise slip, and then 2 knit stitches. 1, 2. All right, so after this, slip off, 1 more knit. All right, so I'm just going to finish this pattern, and then you can have this so when you're doing this at home.